So today's Japanese slang term is ratte gyaru. So gyaru in Japanese, if you're not familiar, does not just mean girl. It refers to a specific women's subculture. I don't have time to get into the whole history of it. There's Wikipedia articles you can check if you're really interested. But long story short, started in the 1980s or so, really took off in the 1990s, has ebbed and flowed, but is seeing a bit of a resurgence recently as magazines like Egg, that were popular way back in the day, have sort of boomed off again in the age of TikTok, etc. Within the gyaru subculture, there are, unsurprisingly, a number of subcultures. And two of the big sort of gyaru styles are kuro gyaru, which refers to a darkening, heavily tanned version, and shiro gyaru, which is more on the pale aesthetic. In terms of the two, kuro gyaru is definitely the one that sees more interest in Google Trends, but as you can see, they're both definitely terms that are not obscure and have seen use for quite some time. As for a visual difference between the two, here's the cover of a Yuri manga that shows a relationship between the two types, cropped for obvious reasons. And here's a picture on Wikipedia that is being used publicly that puts a kuro gyaru in between to shiro gyaru. Now, a ratte gyaru then, unsurprisingly, is a gyaru whose tanning, whose skin tone goes in between the two. Some people have described it as looking like wheat. As for when this term started seeing use, that's a bit tricky. The first tweet mentioning it is in 2013, but it's the only tweet that mentions it until 2017, when we only have 2 tweets until 2019. Indeed, if we pull up the Google Trends data and compare it to shiro gyaru, which if you remember was less popular than kuro gyaru, ratte gyaru isn't even a blip on the radar. But it definitely does exist, and as a newer term, as a newer sort of style, we shouldn't be surprised that it is beginning to take off. It's definitely being used by gyaru-focused media, as in a video by Egg, which has a contest comparing the fashion styles of a kuro gyaru, shiro gyaru, and ratte gyaru. And the ratte gyaru that appear in the video look like this, to give you an example of what they see as sort of the latte tone. All in all then, we'll have to see if this word takes off as a major subcategory. But minimally, I hope this video has made it so you won't be like this person who apparently had to run on to Yahoo Chiebukuro to urgently ask what a ratte gyaru is and get a definition. I hope they met the deadline. Anyway, I'll see you next time for the next slang review.